was just in San Francisco over the weekend.
Yeah.
I hadn't played there in a while. I was a little nervous because I was like, wow, this is like woke central. And woke is the enemy and opposite of political incorrectness, and truth. Yep. But they were awesome. So I was thrilled that even in San Francisco, but you actually look the same as you always did. You preserved yourself very well.
Oh, thanks.
So I don't know what you're doing for your health, but it's working.
I'm quite the metrosexual. I like the products, really? Man. I came from a farm in North Carolina, and I got out here to LA, with Limp Bizkit, and I end up at a Fred Segal going, what's all this stuff? And they sold me a bunch of stuff for my face, and next thing you know, I got into the concept.
Yeah, I don't judge that. And,
I'm not sure it's the product.
I don't want to swap skincare products with you. Let's not go that far, but you
never know. Never say never.
Yeah, you rock stars, you're all the same.
Classic.
It's always about crazy carrying on and, Okay, so you have your drink, Fred?
Yeah, I'm having a little reposado. What are you having?
What's that?
It's to me a much smoother version of tequila, a little more caramelly.
Oh, right.
Tasting. Yeah.
This rot gut saloon whiskey. I don't know.
Whiskey guy.
No, it's the same thing. It's tequila.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how tequila got so popular.
Paul Mitchell.
What?
Yeah, his Patron, that's Paul Mitchell, the hair guy's tequila, from what I heard.
Was that like the first?
No, I think it's the first one that got very popular that wasn't the yellow Cuervo that was...
it was my boy Sammy Hagar, who really did the first tequila.
I've never tried his tequila.
Well, I'm sure it's great, and...
I love his vibe, though. That's for sure.
He's a fun guy.
He seems like he's awesome.
Is that who your friends are, Fred? Other rock stars?
Not really.
Do you hang out with regular people, or is it just the rock and roll lifestyle with the groupies and the drugs at all hours of the night and blasting the music and the yeah lyrics and the long hair? Is that your entire lifestyle, or do you ever come down to earth with us normal people? How normal are you, Fred?
I don't even know if I want to expose that, how
Come
normal
on,
I am.
It's just us. No one's listening.
Just us. No one's listening.
We've known each other minutes.
Yeah. We ran into each other a couple times at Midsummer Night. We said hello a couple times.
Oh, at the Playboy Mansion? That's right. You were a denizen of the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah, I love playing backgammon. So on Sundays, play backgammon.
Yeah, that's the appeal of Playboy, the backgammon.
Hey, but
I was like,
that kind of got me into the place a little, that I could play a little. And Midsummer's Night's Dreams are the best parties of all time.
What is it that's always getting these guys to try to go to the Playboy Mansion? It must be the backgammon.
It's got to be backgammon. I love playing backgammon, though, to be honest. I'm being honest.
Yeah, that seems like another life, going to the Playboy Mansion, I must tell you. That seems like a completely different life. And one I'm not pining for.
Yeah, I don't miss it that much, but I've had a few good times there.
Well, yeah, we were younger, and
it's just fun. Those parties were a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, the liquor flowed freely. That's always the key. People always say, what's the key to a good party? Get the people fucked up. It's not rocket science. I've thrown parties here. I mean, this place was the party house until we made it into a studio. I mean, it looks the same. But I've had a lot of parties here. And what's the secret? I would roll like 100 joints and just pass them out to people at the party and make it easy to get a drink. I've never understood why it's always hard to get a drink at a bar. Wouldn't you sell more liquor if everyone could get a drink? Why? I would have, bartenders are cheap. I would have like 10 bartenders instead of the 1 or 2, and everyone's just trying to get their attention.
That's right.
What the fuck? Wouldn't you sell more liquor?
It's a pretty good concept, actually.
I think I'm onto something.
You're onto something.
But why doesn't anybody do it? There has to be a reason.
Well, I mean, they're saving some money, obviously. To keep the staff.
Are you kidding? The markup on liquor is the most ridiculous. It costs 10 cents to pour it. And it probably, then you charge $14.
Yeah.
I don't even know it's been so long since I've drank in a bar.
Yeah,
I don't know
me too.
I don't know what a drink is.
Yeah, I don't do bars. It's not my thing.
I bet you $20 buys you one drink with a tip.
I bet the kind of tequila I'm having right here, I bet you it is $20 for a shot of that stuff.
Right. Oh, I remember back in the day, even there were certain kinds of liquor. I wasn't drinking them, but like it was like $32 a shot or something. I'm sure there are phony baloney asshole places in Vegas and lots of places with the bottle service where, yeah.
Remember Joel and Allison giving out the weed cookies at the mansion when you walked in?
I do remember weed cookies.
Yeah. They'd reach into their kimonos and hand everybody a cookie when they walked in.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were not terribly good, as I recall.
They were not good, but I tried it a couple times and remember being a little too out of my mind.
Oh, so they were good for you?
They definitely worked. Yeah, they had something worked out.
Maybe I've smoked too much pot. That's why I switched to these clove cigarettes.
Yeah, those cloves are smelling really good.
Try it.
You know, I haven't tried a clove in a while. I mean, I'm scared where it'll take me.
I don't want to be a bad influence.
No, you couldn't do that.
Why? Because you don't need one?
No, I'm actually... You know, the fun thing about having this persona is that I get to escape through it and kind of troll in my own way.
Right.
You know, but realistically, I'm a guy who I'm a kind of a hermit. I don't like to go out to parties much. I'm a hillbilly from North Carolina, and I'm living, you know, kind of that kind of way here in California. But ultimately, I just keep it low key, man. And I listen to 70s music a lot. That's about all I really listen to.
Really? Like what?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, you just
Barry White?
Not Barry White. I mean, Barry White makes it into the list.
70s?
But I'd say I've listened to a lot of 70s singer-songwriter stuff.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Like Jackson Brown?
Yeah, I love Jackson Brown. Yeah, very, very good.
You like Dawes?
Like what?
Dawes?
No, I don't know this.
You don't know Dawes?
Oh.
They're pretty big. They're, look, I'm not going to say I don't know, they sound like Jackson Brown a lot, but they have their own thing, so I don't want to like say it wrong and make them think I'm saying that they're ripping him off, because I'm a big fan of theirs. But it's like if Jackson Brown had a son. It's so much about them is reminiscent, but I'm a big fan because I'm a big Jackson Brown fan.
D-A-W-S?
D-A-W-E-S.
E-S.
Yeah,
Dawes.
Yeah, Dawes. They're pretty big.
Man, it's amazing. I don't even know that's in my playlist, because I have a massive 70s playlist and I can't.
Well, they're not 70s. They're now.
Oh, they're now.
That's what I'm saying. Is they're like they're the now version of the closest thing to Jackson Brown or anything like that from back then.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I would recommend them.
I'm going to check it out.
He's the lead singer's married to Mandy Moore, I think. They're pretty big.
Okay. Interesting.
They must be. He's got a movie star girlfriend.
Who else do you like from now? Anyone? Like you like any music today?
Oh yeah, name some people.
I don't know any.
Really? You don't know any from now? Come on.
Not really.
You know who's good is Mr. The Weeknd.
Oh yeah, The Weeknd.
I always judge music by whether it would be a hit in any decade. You know, not always judge it, but like to me, that's a great marker of whether I'm going to like a record. And Mr. The Weeknd makes records that sound to me like they could have been. First of all, he sounds just like Michael Jackson sometimes.
Yeah, he's definitely got a good voice.
He's got a great alto. I think that's an alto voice, or tenor maybe. Is that a tenor? I
mean, I'm kind of agreeing with you. I don't really know. I'm not much of a musician, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I got in this. I grew up on a farm in North Carolina, and I always wanted to be a filmmaker. And so I had read that James Foley directed Glengarry Glen Ross at close range. I read that he directed music videos. Martin Scorsese directed music videos. David Fincher. And so I said, man, I'll put together a band. My Spinal Tap, my Sparks, my thing. And I was obsessed with Andy Kaufman and things like that. And I said, I'll put together this Spinal Tap and direct the music video and go to Hollywood and start making movies. And that's not how it happened. So after
So Limp Bizkit was really just a vehicle to something else?
That's what it started out as, yeah.
But it became
a blessing in disguise.
I remember, like, Limp Bizkit was like, just like culturally phenomenal level.
Wow.
Right?
I I mean, it's hard for me to say that, but hear you say that.
It was a big thing.
We definitely had a moment there, and it was just something that I didn't expect, and the movie thing just didn't happen. I'm telling Jimmy Iovine and Ted Fields and all these guys, hey, I want to direct movies, and they're like, no, you're going to be a rock star. You're selling a bunch of records, and
well, I mean, every thing that reaches that level of bigness, I think, has to be not just. I mean. The band has to, of course, have talent and be doing something, but you also have to, like, then hit the zeitgeist at the right moment with the right thing. I mean, the Beatles, everybody did it in their way. And there was, like, a feeling around that, like, turn of the century time, and it was angsty, and it was, like, you captured that kind of, I'm just pissed and I'm going to break shit and,
I was bullied my whole life, tortured, bullied. I was really just this peon kid in my city at school. And ultimately, the vehicle I used to put behind Limp Bizkit was, oh, man, I'll use this microphone to fight these guys back. But the irony was the bullies that tortured me were dressing like me in the audience. And so this massive art project turned into the most ironic thing I've ever.
So interesting.
And here I am 25 years later going, wow, this is unbelievable.
That is so interesting.
It's so bizarre.
Now that's a movie.
It's something.
Now that's a great ending.
People call it jock rock. I mean, I despise jocks because those were guys beating my ass all the time.
That's the theme of your movie about it. It's the people in the audience, what you just said. That's the movie. Build it around that. The people in the audience become the thing that you were getting away from.
That's right.
That's great. That's sticking the landing. Of course, you got to flesh this out like for over 120 pages. I'm the big idea man, Fred.
All right. Hey, we will footnote you, Bill. Don't worry about that.
I do the big idea, and then everybody else does the work.
That's an interesting concept. Like,
no, it is.
Are you into anything? Like, I know it seems obvious to talk about music and things like that, and I hear that you're a big music guy.
Oh,
I hear you really, really are.
Well, I mean, like everybody, I don't think anyone can have an encyclopedic knowledge of music. There's just too much of it. There's too many bands. Like Dawes, like to me, that's a fairly big band, and you never heard of them.
Nope.
And you could do that to me right now with 20 bands and say, hey, they're pretty big, and I'd be like, no clue. Or maybe I've heard of them and have no idea what they do. They could be doing polka music. It could be Gregorian chants. It could be anything,
That brings to mind Steve N. Seagulls. Have you heard of these guys?
Absolutely not.
Well,
who? Steven Seagulls?
Like, I guess it's a play on Steven Seagal. I'm not sure. But these guys play the spoons, the upright bass, the accordion, and they're wearing overalls. They're hillbillies, I guess, and they do covers, and they're unbelievable.
Covers?
Yeah, like cover songs. Like they did this song of an AC/DC song, I want to say maybe TNT or something, and I just saw it recently. Blew my mind.
Really?
Yeah, they're just performing outside on their farm or whoever's farm it is.
Their version of it is so good?
So good. It's unbelievable.
Well, I mean, you're like 3/4 of the way home if you're getting to play a great song, and these are all established great songs.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why cover bands are not as popular or esteemed as bands. But as far as just entertainment value, yeah. I mean, very often I come across something as I'm like looking for new music or hearing something, and it's a cover song that I didn't know existed by somebody, and it's like, oh, that's great. I already love that song, and here's a great new version. There's a station that I play on Pandora sometimes it's mostly that. It's like California Dreamin', but now it's with a beat that's very current. And,
right.
And it's you can't beat the tune, and it's a great lyric.
That's the key, right? The tune, you could strip it down to the melody and the one chord progression, and it's timeless. That's when you know it's just epic.
I mean, you can't really ever have a rational discussion, I don't think, with people about music, or I feel there's no point to reading a music review. Either I like the song or I don't.
That's how I feel.
And you can't convince somebody. It's not an argument. I like it or I don't.
Right.
You know? And I still use the old iPod because I feel like it's a superior way of listening. I can explain why. But one reason is that I like to know exactly what I'm listening to. I don't want to have, sometimes I listen to Pandora and have things I don't hear. That's how I do find new music. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I want to hear what I want to hear. If I put my 4,000 songs that go back to the 60s, it's Bill Maher radio on shuffle, and it's always a song I like. Sometimes it's, you know, upbeat, and sometimes it's not, but I'm not going to dislike any of them.
Right.
You know?
I think A for effort. You know, if I don't like something, I just don't like it.
Exactly.
I don't hate on it. I don't care about it. I'm like, hey, I just personally don't have an positive emotional reaction to this jam.
We all can't like everything.
We can't.
No.
But there's a lot of people out there pretending they do and pretending they don't, you know, for controversial reasons, I guess.
Pretending they like things?
I think so. I think there's a lot of people that just go with the flow out there for popularity, in my opinion. A lot of people are doing their stations. But luckily, we get to curate our own TV channels and our own radio stations now, and that's something that we didn't grow up getting to do. You know, we were at the mercy of, you know, FM radio, AM radio, and whatever TV channels or limited cable was coming through at the time.
So who's at your shows? Every age?
These days, every night I'll say, how many people is your first time seeing Limp Bizkit? The whole place raises their hand.
Oh,
how many people are under 30 years old? The whole place raises their hand. I think the people who grew up liking Limp Bizkit probably are a little older, and they'd probably rather me do a Paul Newman and give them some salad dressing or some soap. You know, they're not listening to that kind of music right now. And so and maybe there's a hip hop kind of current going through our music that maybe helped us through time. I took everything away. I didn't want to market anymore. I don't sell merchandise online. I don't sell it at concerts. I didn't promote anything because I wanted to pull back and see what our music could do through a noisy world. How do you rise above the noise? And luckily, I'm so grateful, but it's just, there's a resurgence. It's just happening. It's young people that are reacting to the material.
I think it's a smart strategy because kids don't like to be marketed to.
I agree with that.
They're fucking ignorant about almost everything, most of them. Not the smart ones, but really, not their fault. Schools just don't teach shit. They let you out the door without knowing anything. But they are savvy about media. I will give them that. Right. It's the one thing they know. They grew up on social media, and they get that.
That's right.
So, like, the last thing you can ever try to do is be inauthentic and be successful with them.
I agree.
I mean, anyone who, like me, I'm sure that's why, because, you know, some people say to me, somebody said to me this weekend at Tim, and they go, boy, you know, you kind of throw a lot of shade at the millennials and the Gen Z. And I'm like, but they don't seem to hold it against me. I mean, most of them are not watching because they would never even consider watching something like what I do. But the ones who are, I think, appreciate that, no, I'm not lying, like everybody else has to you your whole life. You know?
I think people like me who are fans of you see that you're shooting it straight, you're speaking your truth. And that's a big deal.
And those kids need it more than anything.
Yeah.
You know, I think our problem is that the parents and the society in general tells them they're very special, and then they get out in the world and the world tells them they're not.
That's right.
And it's a shitty little upcoming that they have in their life. And it doesn't end well. Let's say you wanted to start a new business and you got some funding and that funding wasn't tied up in a failed bank. How would you go about hiring? Whether you're starting a new business or growing one, if you want it to be successful, you need the most talented people on your team. That's where ZipRecruiter comes in. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/random. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds highly qualified candidates for whatever roles you might have, from oversharing guy in marketing to uptight lady who brings her lunch from home, to hot girl in accounting. Got your eye on one or two people who'd be perfect for your job? ZipRecruiter lets you send them a personal invite, which leads to more applicants. That's right, in today's world, you will practically have to beg people to work. ZipRecruiter also offers attention-grabbing labels that speak to job flexibility, like remote, training provided, urgent, and more, to really help your job stand out. Let ZipRecruiter fill all your roles with the right candidates. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to this exclusive web address to try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/random. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/random. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Club Random is brought to you by the audio marketing gurus at Radioactive Media. If you're responsible for marketing your company nationally, how are you growing your business? Don't just Google and social media. When you can harness the power of audio and video and partner with shows like mine and elevate your brand in a space away from your competitors. The team at Radioactive Media can get you there. They create campaigns airing nationally on podcast, terrestrial, satellite, and streaming radio. Radioactive Media has over 35 years' experience in the field of audio marketing, and they can create a customizable campaign for your company's needs, just like they've done for hundreds of great companies, including ones you've seen here, like Signal Wire, Heat Holders, and Wine Enthusiast. Radioactive is also the first in their field to utilize the power of text messaging. They can show you how to generate up to 9 times more leads. You heard me right, 9 times more leads. Radioactive Media believes so much in the power of audio marketing, they put their money where their mouths are by using it themselves, right here, right now. For a limited time, receive a $1,000 credit towards your first campaign by going to radioactivemedia.com or text the word RANDOM to 511-511. Discover how audio marketing can surpass your current strategies with new and innovative ways that sound better. Go to radioactivemedia.com or text RANDOM to 511-511. Text RANDOM to 511-511 today. Terms, conditions, message, and data rates may apply. Do you like true crime podcasts? ID has a new original true crime podcast called Why Can't We Talk About Amanda's Mom? In November 1993, a man discovered the body of Renee Bergeron on the side of a service road in Mobile, Alabama. And despite the horrific nature of her murder, the case got little sympathy in the press, and the detectives failed to close the case. Now, 30 years later, host Sarah Kayleen is investigating the case by digging up new evidence and interviewing suspects, all in hopes of finally finding answers and closure for Renee's family. Listen to Why Can't We Talk About Amanda's Mom wherever you get your podcasts.
I love doing Limp Bizkit. I'm super grateful, and we have a wonderful time connecting. But I'm just into so many other things, and I wanted to ask you, maybe this might be crazy, but what's your take on like 0 point energy or the UFOs and UAPs and things happening?
What's 0 point energy?
0 point energy is a technology that's been around for a long time that's been kind of dark shelved and buried, that you could take energy from the vacuum in space to power everything we need. Your home, power your whole...
The vacuum in space?
Yes. So what happens is we don't need to plug into the power grid. We don't need to have this primitive kind of energy situation that we're being forced. Basically, you're born on Earth to either pay for energy and survive, or not be able to pay for energy and not make it.
Well, okay, so what is the vacuum in space, and why is it filled with energy, and how do we get it out of it?
Well, that's the idea. The idea is there's...
I can understand why
No, I'm sorry, but there's already people who've proven it. There's already people who've done the same like the guy who created the car that runs off hydrogen and water. His technology's been shelved. Imagine if our cars ran off water. It'd be a big deal, right?
Yeah,
So you really don't think much about that stuff?
I've heard it before. I haven't heard this one about the vacuum in space, which I don't know what is. I mean, I know vaguely what a black hole is, very vaguely. Don't ask me to explain it or teach it. I'm the poetry teacher. But a vacuum in space, I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure why it would produce energy, and I'm not sure how we would ever get it the fuck out of there. So
imagine if energy was free. Do you think that would be okay. For anybody in the world if we had free energy?
You know what, Fred? I can also imagine them sending me ice cream in the mail every day. But just because you can imagine it doesn't mean that it's real or possible or, this just sounds like something somebody told you. And
I've actually yes, people have told me, and some people who are really involved with it, and they've exposed some videos and some home videos made by people who do it.
But do you understand the science of it? If not, then you're
the science of it, I can't really articulate that well.
Well, if you don't understand the science of it, then it's just religion. Then you're just believing something on faith. And
I'm wanting to believe in it. I don't
exactly.
believe it.
There you go. Yeah. Wanting to believe in it is, if that's leading to you actually believing in it, then you have to be a little stronger in the mind and say, sure, I want to believe in a lot of things. I would like to believe that Jesus loves me and whatever shitty things I do on earth, he died for my sins. Thank you, by the way.
I love your thing with with Tyson on Jesus, by the way.
Mike Tyson?
I think you were talking with Tyson, right?
I was.
Yeah,
I did his show, he did mine.
You went into something about your thoughts on Jesus in the Bible.
Jesus, did he hit me?
No, he didn't. But you hit him with some
really?
I thought, some unbelievable perspective, in my opinion. I was really, really into what you said about it.
Well, I don't remember that, these darn clove cigarettes, but...
I should try that clove cigarette.
You should.
I'll try it.
Oh, there you go.
This will be the first time.
Thank you, rock star. Now my faith is restored in rock stars.
And no more 0 point energy. Bill Maher doesn't believe in it.
No, well, again, believe in is a religious term. I don't believe in things.
I got to get hip to that.
I don't believe in global warming.
Do you believe that Paul McCartney was the leader of the Beatles?
Well, that's an interesting, of course, that's an opinion thing, and it depends on what year we're talking about. John Lennon was undoubtedly, undeniably the founder of the band.
The glue, in my opinion.
Well, let's hold on. He was in the founding of the band from, earliest times. 1956 is when they met. All through, I would say, he wrote most of the Hard Day's Night album, which is their third in 1964. Paul McCartney is definitely the leader of the band by 1967. And that's, so there's no one answer.
So it shifted in your opinion?
It definitely shifted.
Okay. The documentary, the Peter Jackson documentary, you nailed something we were talking about when Harvey was leaving, I thought, you're right. What we're seeing is we have a portal into this one particular moment in time.
And we see a lot of it.
That's right.
You can't fake it over we watched, as much as I love the Beatles, it was like, wow, this is a lot of footage. I am really seeing everything. I like those songs, but you hear songs that you already have heard a million times.
That's right.
Played a lot. What astounded me, besides the fact that, again, Paul McCartney and John Lennon was the love affair that explains everything, and it never stopped.
And Yoko didn't break up the band.
Yoko did not. He ignored her the whole time. He brought in a bed, so she could sleep and not talk to him. But
good idea.
But but the fact that they went into a studio, was it January 2nd? It was right after New Year's. Mm-hmm. And they said, okay, we need 14 new awesome songs. And we're going to have that by the end of the month. And what do we have? Nothing? Okay. And then did it. Their sang-froid, their unflappability always, that band, in the face of everything that was going on, the global clamor, their coolness, the ability to just stay calm, which could only come from, they had a hard Scrabble upbringing. You don't get that way when you are born on Easy Street. Some people have had it worse, but John Lennon was actually the most middle-class one. He acted like working-class hero, but it was bullshit.
That's right.
McCartney talks about it in his book. John lived in a middle-class house. They lived like in the projects. Anyway, but the fact that they were like, it's, we got, 28 days to come up with this, and we're like, what do you got? No, nothing. No, it's a good idea, though. But, and then, there's one point where you see Paul waiting for the rest to show up, and he's writing Get Back on the bass.
That's the part that blows my mind. So here they do. Beatles strike a deal with the major, right? They're going to get some amount of money to do this TV show where they write this record with their fans in this TV studio. But it's falling apart. It's just a tragic situation that as we see it unravel, we see Paul McCartney, like you said, noodling on the bass because somebody isn't on time or he's waiting on somebody. He starts going,
John, what do you think he was waiting for?
Like, but unbelievable. And that's how things happen. That's how they happen in my band. That's how,
right.
And that was just so like, wow, finally somebody's showing this with the band that's a phenomenon, which I believe there's only a few phenomenons.
So that
Beatles,
happens
Elvis.
with your band. You're in the studio and somebody is just starting to noodle and somebody else goes, that sounds good, play that more. And then you add on to it and then
what happens is,
and then the groupies.
I'm kind of like the composer.
Get to the part where the groupies come.
We don't have groupies, and I don't want to ruin it because we're supposed to have the groupies. But the thing is, our band is incredibly and has always been incredibly boring in that sense.
Oh, stop it! Really?
You
must have had them. Okay, I can understand.
I mean, I was the only one that could really talk to anybody.
Oh,
I was the ball. So
pull, I said.
Oh, the pull.
Pull, like pull a group.
No. No, everybody was a rock star at the time. But what happens is I'm like a composer. I sit back and these guys are so talented and they just start noodling and I can hear something like you can hear something. If it talks to you, if it speaks to your gut, I go, hey man, loop that little part. And he'll go, what part?
You know who you're describing? You know who worked exactly like this?
Who?
Barry White.
Oh, this is a Barry White thing.
It is.
It's the anchor.
Barry White.
I don't have him in my playlist, but he came back.
Barry White was like a composer, like who did it just the way you're talking.
Really?
About. Yes, that's how Barry White worked.
How do you know that?
Because I'm his son.
Well, there was a striking resemblance here. I was thinking that.
It was
from the
come out
get-go.
at some point.
Okay.
No, because I don't know. Because I'm
it's live.
Music fan. I look, Barry White. The some of the stuff is just almost. He must have known it was a little campy with the 4-minute talking over, and I want to see you in your blue panties, and I mean it's just but like he could make a record.
Oh man!
I mean the ones my first, my last, my everything. I mean these records kick ass. And
man, he's right here in the freeze. Right, his voice is right here.
Yes, and that's
important.
But he would just direct the orchestra, and I want this sound here, and I want to. He never wrote a thing down. I'm not sure he had the greatest formal education.
I don't know any. I just learned the chords maybe 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I've always just played by ear, and I play all the instruments, but I work and react with the guys just by ear. So I'm the same in some kind of way. Maybe I'm.
Well, they call you the
Fred, the White, Barry White.
The White.
The White. Freddie White. That might be my new alias.
Fred Durst.
Because we can't put our name at the hotel. What alias do you use at the hotel?
Never sounded like a rock star.
Let's hear your alias that you use at hotels.
Fred Durst.
And then we'll change it to a new one.
Sounds like something much more.
You're avoiding this.
pedestrian.
What's the alias you use when you check into a hotel?
I use Haywood Jablomi.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh my God.
You ask a comedian a question.
Yeah, but you must use an alias. You don't check in under your name.
No, I dress and drag, and I
that we already know.
Register under the name.
But what's the name?
Edith Me Out. It's just
You're a Willie Fisterbottom. Right, the whole time. This is you. I'm picking up on.
I love all those names.
Yeah,
I do.
Well,
but no, I'm not going to tell you my fake name.
Because you don't want to change it. You don't want to change it.
I don't. Why are you pestering me on this? Why?
Because I would love for you to let this out.
I don't. We don't need
it's
to
your
put this
show.
out. You don't
We're
need,
in your house.
I know, but you don't want
This is a badass piece of property, by the way.
Thank you.
No, seriously.
Thank you.
Like legendary. Because I actually, when my house burned down in Malibu in the Point Doom fires, J.J. Abrams rent me his house for 2 years.
Oh.
And I didn't know you were my neighbor.
Oh, you lived around here?
2 houses up.
You're kidding.
No. And I would always see your house and go, God, I feel bad for those people that have the little house by the road. But when you walk in the gate,
Yeah.
It's Neverland.
Yeah. We made that decision long ago to put the house behind the gate.
No, but you see a little piece of the house.
I know.
So that's the problem. You see from the road, you see this dope little modern house, but you don't think there's this amazing property back here.
So that's my strength.
How long have you been here?
Well, I live next door. I lived there. I bought that house in 2001. This is the house next door. I got a few years later. That's why Club Random is here.
Oh.
I don't live in Club Random.
So Club Random's on your property.
Correct, but not my. Yes, it's on the. I
But 2001 before 9/11 or 2001 after 9/11?
I have a vacation home, and it just happens to be right next door to my other home. So it's so
Well,
easy.
God dang!
When I go to,
you're the rock star.
Yeah.
Let's just not get this crooked.
No.
You are the rock star.
Well, there is.
You've always been a rock star.
Thank you.
I remember seeing you at the parties we
here
were talking
go.
about.
Oh no.
You definitely were the rock star. I wasn't with a girl, and you were.
Oh, please, stop it.
But in a cool way, where I would go, man, that guy.
No.
That guy's really got something going on. You know, not just the looks.
Well, the looks, yeah. I don't think it was ever about the looks, which, by the way, is an advantage because if you're like a pretty boy when you're young and then you get to be older, you've got to live with that, oh my God, this is a great diminution in what I used to be. But for us, it doesn't happen, because we were never that to begin with. So it wasn't like, I never relied on like being the guy who could just walk in the room and just smile and, panties would wet. And that was not.
Are you sure?
If it was, then I really missed a lot. But that's possible. But I don't think so.
When did you realize you had so much character? You have such great character.
Oh, thanks, Fred. I don't know character, what do you mean by character?
Well, where you kind of went, God, I'm a little different. And that little different is actually kind of cool. And I'm okay with it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's an evolution. I mean, I'll tell you this. I knew when I was a child that I wanted to be a comedian. I mean, a very young child.
Oh, really?
8 or 9 years old.
What did you see that made you feel
My
that?
father was funny around the house, a funny, witty guy. And my mother had a great sense of humor. And, I just think I saw that, and you kind of saw his friends laughing at him, and I think that just gets in you. And we were also a family that, of course, back in those days, you'd watch the family, crazy idea, would watch TV together. Oh my God, can you imagine bonding with your family? Yeah. So, we would all watch the same shows when I was a kid. Ed Sullivan, if I could stay up late sometimes, Johnny Carson, and,
How old are you?
I'm
how old are you?
I thought at the time. I'm 67 now.
60. Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
You look so young.
Well, thank you. Probably I don't look young. I just don't act old. If you just don't act old, if you don't have.
No, man, it's very rare. I'm kind of tripping than the fact that you are 67 right now.
Yeah.
Your awareness and this is. Having an epiphany right here on your show.
Oh, epiphany. Good.
These clove cigarettes make the room smell good.
They really do. And your lungs. But
have you had your lungs checked recently?
Oh, geez. Let's not break up the party.
Because you don't like death.
Who likes death?
I hate death. And when I heard that you hated death, I go, man, God dang, somebody else hates death as much as I do.
Well, the only people who don't dislike death are the ones who really are super sure that they're going to the better place, which is quite a bet to be making based on.
You got to be really dumb to believe that.
Well, dumb or crazy like a fox, because again, as Harvey and I were talking about, it gives you an amazing peace of mind that could be like the key to a lot of health. I mean, I can really see that. I'll give you another example of that. I've heard people say this, spirituality makes you live longer, but I've also heard them say it about marriage. People say that, I've heard doctors say this, and I'm always like, well, maybe for you, it's really a personal thing, isn't it? Because I have heard men say at times, people I've known, like my age group, and they'll be like, thank God my wife was there when I got cancer, because I don't think I could have made it through without her. And I always want to say, maybe she gave it to you. not in a, not deliberately, but just like the stress of relationships, I do think can give you cancer.
I can ride that wave. I'm riding that wave.
I knew I should get you to smoke this. Now we're agreeing on everything.
Yeah, come on. No, I'm kind of like, I understand where you're coming from with it.
It's true. It's just true. I mean, relationships, even good ones, include in them a lot of stress. Just a lot of stress. Like being alone can be lonely, and that's not good, and that can be stressful. But I feel like sometimes in my life, the most stressful thing was just wanting to keep something together when it's hard to do, and worrying so much about what would happen to me and her if it didn't, stay together, and the angst of losing someone and wanting them, or wanting someone who doesn't want you. I mean, all that stuff I feel like created a lot of the stress and angst in my life, none of which you're responsible for.
But you're kind of in this place in your life where you never, maybe, I don't know how much of the light you saw at the end of the tunnel, but right now, you're in the now, and you're feeling very, very good, and you're really happy.
Yeah.
Was this something you thought would happen?
Well, I just think a lot of happiness is...
Did you manifest this?
Well, no, I don't even know if people can do that. I mean, you can definitely...
I think you can.
Well, I think you can plan for things, if that's what you mean by
I think you can put out the vibe and the energy and kind of create the world you want by the energy you put out.
I think that's vague. I don't
know. If it's vague.
I mean, I don't know about putting out energy. I mean, I would use my energy to actually create something. Like Elon Musk, when he was making Tesla, he slept in the Tesla factory for 2 years. I don't know if that's putting out energy. I feel like that's harnessing it and husbanding it.
You're putting out energy, whether you think it or not. You're like water. If you put vibrate frequencies, we're all frequencies. So if you literally run them with a glass of water, certain frequencies, you can see that they affect it. And we're full of water, and we have to put out positive energy.
Are you reading a lot of Popular Mechanics?
No, I'm not.
Where are you getting this?
I'm kind of just going into the quantum moment of that moment you're talking about, in your story. So I'm just smoking your weed, and you've intoxicated me.
I know.
And I'm breaking it down. And actually, I'm getting a insightful, voyeuristic view into your soul, and I think all of us are seeing an incredible moment where you're talking, where I think this is going to be the podcast. Guys, don't cut to me, because he's saying some great shit, and I ain't saying shit.
You're saying plenty of shit.
No, what I mean is I really am inspired by it.
Oh, good. But
this is really cool. I haven't done a podcast, haven't done press in 10 years.
And I appreciate it so much.
This is awkward for me.
Believe me, the feeling is mutual. I mean,
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
You're a very cool dude.
I don't do, thank you.
I don't do
any, one of the great things about being this age is, of course, the bad things are, yes, you're older, blah, 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 but there's that I don't do anything I don't want. I don't talk to anybody I don't want to talk to, especially here. This is my house.
It's your house.
I live here. This is where my wife plays and her children play with
Ben
their
Affleck
toys.
did some weird stuff.
Oh, no, that's The Godfather.
He did some naughty stuff right here.
Who?
Ben Affleck.
Well, I don't know what he did here.
I don't either, but I think this was his, right?
Yes.
So that's wild.
Well, who knows? I mean,
who knows what went on in here?
Movie stars, rock stars. I can only dream about
Bill Maher. See, I'm lucky to be blessed by your wisdom and this experience and having this cool evening. It's not work. It's not a job. It's just this amazing evening.
An adventure.
It's an adventure, kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's, thank you for saying that.
But you know what? Ben Affleck was in here. And Ben Affleck was in here with doing stuff. I'm serious. And so were you.
I was not doing it with Ben Affleck.
I don't know if you were not.
We never lived here at the same time. He sold it to me. But this, yes, when I...
Did you and Ben ever hang out here together?
Never. No, but I knew
Well,
he was,
we got to make that happen.
I knew he was the neighbor.
We got to invite Ben down to the show.
Okay, Ben's on to a
and
different...
he needs to hang out with you in his old house.
Ben's on... Like, I love Ben.
Tell you what he did here. I love Ben, too.
I'm a giant
huge
Ben Affleck fan.
I love Ben Affleck.
Right,
I love all the Afflecks. Casey Affleck. I love Casey Affleck. He's amazing. Dude, the guy is... I would love to work with that guy.
You one-up me there, sir.
Hey, man.
But you know what? Casey Affleck is awesome.
He's so
awesome.
dope.
He's an amazing actor.
He's an amazing actor.
It's funny.
Who's your favorite actor right now?
Ben Affleck. No, I said to Casey, he did my show once, and I said to him, you know, your brother is the bigger movie star, but you really are actually the more amazing
so
actor.
Good.
And he said to me, I'm always telling him that. And Ben Affleck is a perfectly fine actor. But yes, Casey Affleck.
Ben's amazing, man.
Yeah, he's fun, but he's a movie star. And
The Town?
But the best thing about The Town, he's an amazing filmmaker.
Oh, he's an amazing filmmaker.
And the Argo, and the Live by Night, the gangster one. He makes a great movie. Mel Gibson does too, by the way, and
He's
Clint
legit.
Eastwood. I mean,
Matt Damon is legit. Their whole thing is legit.
Yeah, but Matt Damon doesn't make his own movies.
But he's still legit.
Yeah, he's an actor. He's a great actor.
He just has a good filter, man. And that's what matters.
Nobody loves Jason Bourne more than me. Nobody. I mean, every time I think I can't watch Jason Bourne movies again, and I do, and they still work. And everybody has ripped off that formula. They all try to do it with the same music, and they can't, and they don't. And the story, and he makes it work. But all of them, all three of them, plus the one even with Jeremy Renner. I mean, that is my favorite franchise. What?
Which one was Jeremy Renner?
Jeremy Renner did one where it was Jason Bourne.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was the Bourne Legacy.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Right. What a shame what happened.
Yeah, he's a good dude, and he actually made it through it, and I really wish him the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No snowplow jokes here.
No snowplow jokes here.
And he was awesome in The Town, Jeremy.
But he would actually appreciate if you said a snowplow joke. If you have one.
Oh, well, first of all, no. What am I, Bob Hope? Hey, get me some snowplow
I got
jokes.
a great picture of Bob Hope and Jerry Lewis on my wall.
Looking up in my file, snowplow. I got Snapple jokes. I got Snodgrass jokes.
Hey,
say snowplow.
You know what? You might have been the only guy that had a snowplow joke. I don't fucking know.
Okay.
What's great is I don't fucking know anything about it.
About what?
About anything.
I thought you just said you knew about the vacuum in space where all the energy is going to come from.
There is a vacuum in space, and we can pull energy from it, and it can power this TV show, podcast, whatever this thing is.
Well, it better be sponsored.
But you have a fucking treehouse. So I get here, I go, God damn, this place is unbelievable. Okay. And then I'm in a treehouse that's more unbelievable than this.
Okay, first of all, it's when you say treehouse, that's what we call it. I don't know why I didn't name it that, but it's
it was pounded into my brain by your producers.
I'm sure it was. It's where we keep the guests. It's like the green room here. Okay, it's a guest house.
Green room.
It's a guest house on the property. Ben lived there, if that makes you feel better. I'm sure. And it's just
Ben did some shit in that place.
that may be true. It's a loft. It's very modest.
I'm joking.
It's a loft house. It's cute.
But is that really his main house? Was that house?
Yes, because
that is so humble. That is not a dope house.
It is very humble. There's a kind of a great little old-fashioned fireplace in there.
Yeah,
that's the charm of it.
Yeah.
But I cannot see J-Lo saying, "I'm living here." Okay,
as soon as you said that was his main house, I went, she's never going to accept this. But I love that he lived there because that's incredible. You know, Sean Penn lived in an Airstream trailer for years in Malibu on the other side of PCH in an Airstream all by himself.
Well, because he was getting into character to play a bum.
I got a great story Art Linson told me about that audition, by the way.
What audition?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, Sean Penn, been sitting where you are.
Yep.
One of my best.
He's a friend of mine too, legend.
I would love to say one of my best friends. I hope he considers me that way, but I just adore him.
I adore him too.
And he's become like so much like I was saying this to somebody the other day. Oh, David Byrne was on my show, and I'd seen him say on 60 Minutes that everybody says to me, you got nicer when you got older. And I said, same thing with me, and same thing with Sean. He's such a mensch. Not that he wasn't always a great guy, but there was an edge to him. Yeah. And I think the same thing with me. And that's what I was kind of getting to say with David Byrne. Like, he didn't answer the question the way I would have, which is, why did we get nicer? I forget what he said, but it was very funny. But my thought was, because we're less insecure. That's why. Because when we're young, we're like, oh my God, I gotta make it. And maybe you're in the way. And, I'm just tense about that. And at a certain point, you either made it or didn't.
Right.
And if you did, it's like, oh, thank you, Jesus. I got my card punched. I can relax. Like, I'm not Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
But, I'm very happy with where I wound up. And that allows you to sort of like, breathe and like consider other people a little more. It's not all just about you getting
Where
to where
are you from?
Getting to where you have to go.
Where were you born?
I was born in a treehouse.
Okay. In that treehouse?
No. Okay. I'm glad I reminded myself. That is not a treehouse. That's a nice little loft.
That's a fucking treehouse.
It's a guest house.
No, I'm telling you.
No,
I've seen some treehouses in Beverly Hills, and that's a Beverly Hills treehouse, because a treehouse in Beverly Hills is like that.
And
Ben Affleck would rent or buy or own a Beverly Hills treehouse like that.
I have a very specific reason why I'm contradicting you on whether this is a treehouse.
You called me a cunt.
I said no.
That's what you did.
No, I didn't. This tree house is a loft house. There are trees near it. I guess that's where it came from. Listen to me. For 12 years, I did a show in 2 shows in Hawaii every New Year's. I did December 30th.
Never been to Hawaii.
Oh, December 30th, we did Maui, and December 31st, we did a big show in Honolulu. Woody Harrelson lives.
I love Woody Harrelson.
Lives on Maui. We would always see each other when I was in Maui. Then I would go to Honolulu. I'd always see Sean Penn, including this last year. He did a little thing in my show. So and they were feuding with each other. They wouldn't talk to each other, but I was friends with
Woody and Sean?
Yes. Maybe to this
Some
day.
politics.
I don't know. I don't know what they want.
You know what it is.
I don't. I honestly don't. But I have a feeling.
God, they're both so dope. They're both so chill and really cool and open-minded.
Right.
I will
Unfortunately, both their wives fucked Ben Affleck. Anyway.
In that treehouse?
In the treehouse. It's not a treehouse, but Woody Harrelson on his property has a treehouse. This is what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
One of the years, Michael.
You think long. You're a chess player. You think long game, because this is
one of the years.
Tying it in
I can't remember what year it was, but Michael Moore. I always took a lot of people on this vacation. Michael Moore came with me, the great Michael Moore.
Wow.
Okay.
The documentarian.
Yes. So we drove out to Woody's place, which is, to say it's off the grid is an understatement. I mean, it's out in the sticks, bro. And like this is, I think, before GPS. I mean, I don't know how we ever found this place. This is probably 10 years ago. Okay. Woody, now this is where Woody and Laura live. I mean, it's an amazing piece of property.
Wow.
I always kid him that he doesn't have a house, he has a porch, because there's no walls. Like, there's like,
I'll tell you, in fact, the first house I ever bought is on Cambridge, right beside me.
Yeah, okay.
That's the first house I ever bought.
So,
go ahead.
Okay, so on this vast property they have, and this is the uncivilized part of Maui. It's just like, I mean,
right.
It's okay.
The cool part.
Yes. Well, certainly the part if you want to be just in nature, and it is spectacular.
That's what I would want.
But there he has a tree house. And I mean a house built into a tree. I mean very elaborate stuff in
like
a
that
tree.
One?
No! That one is not that, but he has a treehouse. If you ever want to see what an actual treehouse is, a house in a tree built by a movie star with franchise money.
The electricity?
I will set it up. You go to Maui and you can see what a treehouse is.
Set it up. That would be amazing, because I will do that and document every piece for you.
He would love you. He loves nothing more than a new bromance. This guy has more bromances than I can shake a stick at.
Really?
I'm a little jealous, but we have a great one. But
I'm having a bromance with you, but it's not. It doesn't feel like it's being reciprocated.
Exactly. It totally is reciprocated. What?
Because I'm
Why?
like,
Why do
I'm
you
like
say
blown away by you. Like I really am. Like the fact that you're the age you are,
that? Oh, you've just made
and
me.
you are so in tune, and you are not held up on a bunch of shit.
It's all. It's
But you do spit shit out of your
I do.
mouth every
well,
once
when
in a
you
while.
make me laugh.
No, but that's the age. Because you wouldn't have done that at 57.
Of course I would. Why do you say
I just don't.
The fuck does
I
that
just don't think so.
All right, don't.
I'm just tapping your leg. Is that sexual assault?
No.
Did I
Not from-
do something
no.
unacceptable?
You couldn't get in my ass if you tried, and I know you're
Oh,
not
I
trying.
could.
And I know you're not trying.
I think I could.
Well, dream on.
I'm not trying, but I could.
What is that? Rock star confidence? Like I could fuck anybody I want. Is
No,
that
it's not.
how you rock stars?
No, it's not.
I know it's how
I
you
just kind of feel what you're into. I'm empathetic.
A friend of mine.
I feel people's energy, and I feel like you might let me in that.
A friend of mine once said to me, I once saw Mick Jagger pick up a girl with just a look. And I knew exactly what he meant. And I have no doubt it happened. I have no doubt that.
Do you have that look?
Of course not. I'm not a rock star.
Give me that look.
I know.
Give the camera.
If I was,
Which camera
no.
is it? Give him that look.
Well.
You have the Bill Maher look. You have the Midsummer's Playboy Midsummer's Night Dream Bill Maher look.
I don't have that at all.
You would look over and go, "You're
I'll
with
tell
me
you,
tonight."
No, but Fred, I'll tell you what I do have is the wisdom to understand, which I didn't earlier in life, is that it's not so much, yes, somewhat, but it's not so much what you look like. It's how you look at them.
You're onto something.
Meaning girls.
You're onto something.
There was a pause.
Is it just
there.
girls?
Well, in my case, yes.
In your case.
It's how you look at them.
Yeah.
You know?
And is that how you did it? Can you actually turn it on again for a second round? Seriously, I'm a director and I'm working with you. I'm handling your ego well.
Okay.
So I go, and action, Bill.
Just look into their eyes. Just have a pair of balls, hit your mark, and say what you have to say. Don't bullshit. They don't like being bullshitted, okay? Don't take them down a primrose path and then leave them by the side of the road, okay? Be honest. If you can't be there forever, say it up front. They'll respect you for it.
Cut. That's a fucking take. That's a take right there. Okay. Hey, Bill, we're good. We're going to break down and move to the next
You asked me
setup.
for a take.
Are
Did
you
I
cool
give
with
it
that?
to you? Did I give you exactly the
And, or would you ask me for a close-up, or would you ask me besides a medium?
That was a close-up.
That was
but
a medium.
Didn't I give you?
But are you okay with the medium on
Did I not
that?
give you exactly what you
You
just
gave me
said?
exactly what you...
Okay, so then don't give me this shit about I'm not as happy to be here as you.
If
I'm
you
very
think I
happy to
gave
be.
you any
I'm
shit tonight, you're
I'm
delusional.
just saying,
I've
for you
not
to be
given you
here
any
is-
shit whatsoever.
Okay, it's amazing.
Is this your furniture?
Oh my God!
Did you
it is
make
called,
the decisions here?
It's
Or was
called
it producers, Chris and Chuck?
No, it's called Club Random because everything in here is what didn't fit in my regular house, so it's very random. I could have thrown this stuff away. I don't even know
What
where
style is your regular house? What kind of style? I'm a big house guy. I flipped 14.
What?
Yep, I bought, sold, remodeled, and flipped 14 of them. I love that stuff. So what's your style of your home? Because I literally only walked into the facade of the front.
It's anti-modern.
Oh.
I don't like
French country?
Well, probably, I don't know what that is, but it sounds like more of what it is.
Rachel, shabby chic kind of vibe?
No, not shabby, but like comfortable, couches that are not like black leather and like chrome and all. I don't like that shit. It's
is it white?
It could have been
monochromatic.
Could have been made probably 100 years ago. I love bookshelves all over the house.
Oh, nice.
A lot of the furniture in there is Indian because I just had a piece that was Indian that fit perfectly, and I wanted to model some things around it. And then I met someone who had a store, and they had great stuff. But it's not, there's some mitchy-matchy. I don't think it should be. Look, it's
when was the house built?
That house was built in 1979.
79. What was it when it was built? What was the idea when it was built?
It was on. Susan Day was a TV star of that era, and she. I've seen pictures of the house. It was super feminine.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I had to depussify this house like from head to toe.
Was that with a bear? Do you have a bear, like a bear rug or like
No, not at all. But you could tell, here, I always say this about my house.
Indian. You went Indian.
The living room I actually worked on, and it's quite nice, although I haven't changed it in a million years, and I probably should. But I'm comfortable. Who cares?
Are you single?
Yes, of course.
Still single?
Yes.
At 67?
Why do you think I'm so happy?
It's because the Indian furniture.
So the rest of the house, I always say, it's not awful, but you can just tell a woman doesn't live here. You know, it just doesn't have that pulled together final, and I kind of like it that way.
Do you want to be with someone?
No, I don't want, well, I don't want my
You want to be in love with
pulled,
someone?
Fred, now we're getting too personal. I can't.
Too personal? Are you fucking kidding me? Light the clove cigarette.
No,
and
no,
seriously,
but-
do you not want, what do you want? Because actually, it's very important. You and I can connect on a couple things.
You're married.
I'm married.
The way you had to think about that.
No.
Wait, you didn't say, yes, I'm
Well,
married.
you flipped it back to me. You hit the ball back to my court.
I know.
So I'm hitting the ball back to your court.
But
So
you
back to your court.
yeah,
What
then
I
you
want to know is like,
you hit a log.
Like, are you?
You should have hit a winner down the line.
What's your take on that? Because you don't like death, but do you? We're all alone. I believe we're all alone, no matter when it happens, no matter what happens.
We're all alone here at Club Random.
We're all alone at Club Random. Dude, there's like people don't know, but there's a piece of plexiglass between us too, because he doesn't want to get my germs.
Oh yeah, you got the wrong guy there. I was never the COVID paranoid. Quite the opposite. COVID paranoids are.
Did you get the vaccine?
I got because I had
did.
to.
I got all
work.
6.
I didn't want to. Okay, I didn't think I needed it.
I had to.
Yes, I did too. Or else I couldn't have continued my life.
I couldn't have continued.
And I don't
my
like
life.
that gun held to my head. But let's not get into that on this show.
No.
Because I don't want. Because
This show's fun. That's not fun. We can go down a rabbit hole on that stuff.
All right. Would you be a lamb while I'm holding this and pour me? Oh yeah, give me some. So that is tequila.
No, I'm going to pour your thing.
No. I want some
tequila.
of that. It is tequila. Let me try that. Okay. So pour me like half.
Okay.
Now,
Yes, sir.
I don't want to. I know exactly. Okay. See.
I actually know, a little over half. That's a little over half.
All right. I will accept that this time. But because like.
But what about next time? What if I do it next time
No,
too? I might do it every time.
As you get older.
Because I'm going to get an enhanced, dog. Remember we was talking about that?
No. Okay. But one of the things about aging, like you said, I look good. I'm glad you think so.
But everyone tells you that. Are you sick of hearing it?
No, you never get sick of hearing that. But to do that, you have to like be very circumspect about how much of something like liquor you put. Very little.
They say if you take even one drink of liquor ever in your life, heart disease will be inevitable. No, I'm not joking. I'm really into the health aspect of things. But
me too.
we're fucked if that's the case.
Right. Well, I'm definitely fucked. I mean,
You're fucked if you do this every Wednesday. You do this every Wednesday?
Yeah.
And you have a couple clove cigarettes and some booze?
Well, I smoke more than just here.
And you're 67.
Yeah.
John Travolta's younger than you.
Meaning?
Meaning it's just a fact. It's a Snapple fact.
Okay. But I think John Travolta looks great. But he was born looking great. That's my point.
But so are you. What are you comparing it to?
The difference between John Travolta and me is that John Travolta...
I think you look amazing.
Thank you. But like John Travolta had to go through some period where he was like, oh, I'm no longer like this Adonis, because he was an Adonis. And I didn't ever have to go through that period because I wasn't one to begin with. So...
yeah, you're the... it's like you never know. People wouldn't have voted for you to be the hero.
That's such a great thing to say.
And you know what? You were maybe the least likely to succeed by some people's perspective, just like me.
Great.
And things happened.
I would not be voted to be the hero. I'm going to put that on my next billboard. Look, we got my next...
Will you footnote me?
We got my next...
I could throw me a bone.
Yes,
like, I get all the
But I figured out
shit.
your movie.
What?
Remember?
Yeah.
The audience is the bullies.
The irony is that the audience,
So I'd say we're even.
Okay. We're even.
All right, we'll take one more puff. We'll see if it works.
Dude, you're going to cut that out, right?
Yeah, we'll cut that out. Oh, we're cutting all of you out.
Thank God.
Have you never seen this show?
This character, this beard is for a character I'm playing on my new tour. So
Okay.
I got to have it.
You know what? Saturday, April 22nd, I'm at the theater at MGM National Harbor in Oxon Hill, Maryland. Bet you didn't know that, Mr. Wise-ass rock star. Sunday, April 23rd, I'm at the Durham Performing Arts Center in Durham. Saturday, May 20th at the MGM Northfield
I would go see you.
Park. Yes, you should.
No, I wouldn't,
You'll
because
love it.
your comedy.
In Northfield, Ohio.
I'd like to see you not break the comedy.
Hard Rock, that's Cleveland.
Because on here, you break it.
Sunday, May 21st, Mystic Lake Casino in Prior Lake, Minnesota. Let's go see each other's. I'll go to yours and you go to mine.
If we play nearby, it might be Irvine, but I'd take real good care of you to get you there, and it'd be really great to have you host it that night.
Host it? Yeah, I could do that as long as I don't have to.
Bill, can you host the show? It's just like I'm throwing it out there.
Yes, I can.
Legendary.
I don't know what hosting the show means.
It just means going, hey guys, this is the worst band, whatever you want to say, and here we are later, and that's it.
But don't they boo?
And it's free food.
Don't they?
Everything you want. Everything you
yes,
need.
Fred.
And those funny clove cigarettes. We'll have plenty of those for you.
Right. That's what I need. More pot and free food. But wait. When I walk out, isn't the crowd gonna boo because I'm not you? Isn't it like, oh, who's this?
Are you fishing?
Old douchebag. No.
Is this a fish?
I'm not fishing. Your young crowd, the 20 to 30, the vast majority of them either don't know who I am.
You are man. You are a hero to these people.
To you.
You're speaking the truth, man. I'm telling you.
Most of them.
No, they'll fucking trip the fuck out. They will bug out. Literally, I'm embarrassed because I know afterwards I'm going to feel the shame of the applause from the audience being way lower than it was at the opening of the show when you just go, fuck Limp Bizkit, and then we go.
You're delusional.
No, I'm not joking.
A Limp Bizkit audience, people who paid good, hard money.
These people grew up on you.
To see Limp Bizkit. Mm-hmm. They didn't even grow up. You said they're 20 to 30.
So imagine when I put the band together. I'm at 95, I'm 25 years old, okay? 25 years old. And that's the feeling that's in this music. So these young people around that age, it kind of varies. That's the feeling they're getting from it. It's timeless in that way. And so it's priceless that you can have it while I'm alive and while you're here. And people love what you say. They love to hear your opinions because it gives them another fresh perspective on things. Because you're speaking your shit. You're transparent, it's your truth. And William H. Cooper always said, always question everything.
I am flattered you think that, and I hope to live up to that, but I honestly don't think an audience of Gen Z and younger millennials appreciate that the way you do. I really don't.
You want to make a bet?
Some of them do.
And we can film it and prove it, because I guess filming everything. With no CG, and I won't make us look younger on the video, because, we might want that, because we're going to look like shit on the thing.
Totally.
But I would like to film that and prove you wrong and be back here and to show you that footage. You can go, wow, you said that when we first collided.
Okay.
That serendipitous collision over in Coldwater Canyon.
And what do I get if you're wrong?
If I'm wrong, I'll do anything you'd like.
Well, why didn't you say?
If you want me to suck your dick, Bill?
We're back to that.
Would you really like me to suck your dick? Look at my face.
No.
Like, seriously.
No.
I'm sucking your dick.
No.
Like, is that what you want?
No.
Because you acted like that's what you want.
That was comedy.
And you actually wear tight-ass jeans. Your dick is big and your balls are big. And you're wearing tight-ass fucking jeans.
I'm not going to.
Is that a 67? That's an old school thing. Because I'm wearing baggy-ass shit. I don't want people to see how big my dick is. But you want people to see how big yours is.
Well, listen,
Is it a thing?
I'm between a rock and a hard place here. I don't like to lie and I don't like to brag. What's a guy supposed to do?
But you're bragging.
I'm not saying
And you're lying
anything.
that you don't like to brag.
I am taking the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Well, you actually gestured like, oh, I'll pull my, like,
yeah.
What?
Because it's comedy, Fred. You know
I get
that.
you.
It was comedy.
I know that, and I'm rolling with you.
Oh, I know.
I'm just, when I hear them go, I love it. We're riding. But here's what's cool.
All right.
I'm going to do a podcast, and I'm going to do it with your guys.
You should. You should be under the umbrella of Club Random. It's the coolest place to be.
I think so.
We're aligned.
Yes.
You know, we're now blood brothers.
Yep.
It's like we did that thing
That's the
that
thing.
the Indians did, or somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody
But you know
more
what? You
pure
created
than
the
us.
greatest thing. Like, this is the dream come true. You're living the ultimate dream.
Well, I don't know about that, but people.
But you do
people
know.
would.
Don't you think so?
I would think people would more say that of a rock star. I would think they would more say that of you when they see like thousands and thousands and thousands, the sea of people screaming, the kind of excitement that music invokes in people is not close to what comedy just doesn't do that.
But you're seeing it in numbers now.
Yeah,
The numbers. Your numbers speak louder than that. Or would you rather have the 3D version?
But I'm just saying, like when you ask about
the 2D version, you conquer.
What would people? When people look at something like, what do they go? Oh my God, I wish that was me. I think it's more the thing that you do, because like I say, music just gets to people in a very primal way and a very deep way, an emotional way. Everybody can appreciate music. I am only people with a brain.
Almost everybody.
So like, we're eliminating like 90% of the population right there. So I'm working with a much smaller group. And what you're doing is like, again, you see people go, they're kind of like frenzied for what you are about to do as a performer. Okay, I don't really experience that. I mean, I have some wonderful receptions on the road. I was very gratified in San Francisco, which I said I was afraid they were going to be too woke, but they were just marvelous. And I could tell.
Are you feeling my fanboy madness?
And I could tell that.
Are you feeling it?
I could feeling yours, but
okay, I'm trying to hold back.
But I'm talking about like what the crowd, like you see a crowd. First of all, it's bigger, and again, they're almost in this bacchanalian frenzy, like they're holding the severed heads and which I'm not saying you're suggesting that.
Don't hold severed heads, but I know what you mean.
I'm not saying you wouldn't suggest that. Like I saw you at Woodstock 99. I mean, I wasn't at Woodstock 99. I was at Woodstock 94 as a correspondent.
Were you really?
As a correspondent.
Who was headlining?
As a correspondent for Jay Leno.
Oh my God.
They helicoptered me in and I did an interview with Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Whoa.
In 1994,
Oh,
yes. My producer was with me on that trip.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
But the 99 one, what do you think about that? That it was like the spirit of it was so
Let's go back to yours first.
Okay, what's mine?
Your Woodstock experience in 90.
Oh, well, I was 13 in 69. I was a kid. I was vaguely aware of it. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I wish I was old enough to go to Woodstock. That's where I was.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, certainly thought of in the culture at the time as this great triumph that the younger generation could get together with hundreds of thousands of them and not beat each other up, and they could shit in the mud and fuck in it, and everyone was cool with that. That was like that era.
Yeah.
And then, like everything in the country, this country, in my view, has been on a downward trajectory since about the Kennedy assassination. Vietnam, Watergate, just more cynicism, more lack of belief in the government, more tribalism. It just got, and everything is just a symptom of that, of the kind of devolvement down toward less intelligent, more tribal, more hateful,
There's an agenda.
What?
I just feel like there's an agenda with all of it. Dumb it down, and the masses follow, and the campaign of disinformation versus misinformation. This is where I see the juxtaposition we're all in as a society. Like, what's real and what's not, and will we ever decipher that?
No. I mean, you have to decide what's real for you, but does anyone own the truth? No. But there used to be a consensus about a lot of stuff that there's no consensus about now. Like, everybody has their own facts. The most glaring example, of course, is Trump winning the election or not. I mean, anyone who thinks he won the election is just, it's religion. You want to believe that. That helps you get through the day, makes you feel better. But somewhere inside you, that's not true. We have elections. You don't always win them. And that one didn't come up winner for him. But if you want to cling to that, then you're going to go along with a million other things that are just your own set of facts.
It's playing on who we are as where we evolved to now.
And I could name examples like that on the left also. crazy stuff that the left believes that it's just religion, really, because, and the only...
No, they're just pulling on that string.
What string?
I don't know if they believe. Do they believe it? Or are they pulling the strings for the people who do believe it?
Yes. Yes, I think B. I think you're exactly
that's what
right.
I think.
Right. They know better.
Right.
We saw that in the...
But they're playing off the fact that people really believe that.
We saw that blatantly in the recent reading of the emails of Fox News anchors, including Tucker Carlson, who said he passionately hated Trump, them saying to each other in their private texts and emails that they know he lost the election, and yet they went on TV that very night. I mean, you couldn't exaggerate this in a screenplay, and said the exact opposite. I hope somebody makes a movie of this, maybe you. Goes on TV and says, that is exactly what you're talking about, because they knew the audience wanted to hear Trump won. So I'm just going to say it, even though I know it's not true. I mean, you could not define hypocrisy or lack of integrity any clearer than that.
It's obvious, right?
That is obvious. That is called getting caught red-handed. That is a smoking gun. They don't care, because it's about how it makes me feel. Everything's about feeling now.
Yeah.
Facts don't
It's all
matter.
relative too. But you know, the relative builds up. There's a majority of people feeling the same in that regard.
So where's your politics? Are you...
Well, you know, that's the thing.
All over the map?
I don't do this.
Don't.
But I know I can go there if I get your guidance through this, because this is your thing, and I'm going to be under your umbrella. I want to go there because I have a strong opinion about things.
Well, just summarize it.
I don't want to right
Then
now.
don't. Then
not on your thing right now.
You're right.
But we and you will do it.
Absolutely.
When I'm ready, I'll do it with you.
Right. And this place is not supposed to be for politics.
That's right.
So, yeah.
No, but I want to share it with you, because I really love what's happening.
All right.
I love how everything happened. It's all super dope. Chris and Chuck and Jordan, it's like it made it happen. It's really cool.
Right.
It's a good vibe.
I'm going to set you back into the wild. This was super fun for me, too.
This is fun.
Don't think I didn't enjoy it as much as you did.
Man, I really did.
Okay.
I already know.
All
This
right.
is an honor.
All right. Talk.
We should try without camera, too.
Sure. I'm
You know,
down.
that would be tight.
Sweetheart, this
And
place,
then you can go,
This
Fred.
place was my party house for 20 years before it was Club
But
Red.
it's very
Yeah.
empty now.
Club Random.